What kind of roadkill did you leave along the way? Can you travel back down that path again and continue to get it done? Or did you leave such a wake in your path that you walked on everyone around you, disregarded those you should have treated with respect, and left them holding the bag while you took the credit? So here's the deal. The only way you get things done in the business world today is through and with people. It doesn't matter how big or small the company it is. You must deal with people if you're going to be successful. If you don't like people, or over time you find things just aren't moving along like you need them, or you revisit similar issues over and over again, you just can't get things done the way you'd like, then I can tell you what the problem is. It's a people problem. This school has provided you with critical tools, essential elements to be successful in this day and age's business environment. But with those tools and the opportunity they provide comes responsibility. Use what you've learned wisely. Take it with you into every meeting, every relationship, every business venture that you participate in. Your choice to obtain your master's degree will provide you with the tools to avoid many baptisms by fire. In a few years, when you look in the mirror and you see a few gray hairs, remember how you earned them. Remember what you learned while you sacrificed to complete your graduate degree. And remember what your family and your company sacrificed. I have a very diverse background. I began my work life as a nurse. And during that time, I focused on the technical aspects of my job. I was concerned about making a mistake because, as you know, if you make a mistake as a nurse or in the medical field, it can be quite serious. After almost 10 years, I decided to leave that profession, and when I told my mother that I was going to drive truck cross country, she almost had a heart attack. God rest her soul. I wanted to see the U.S. and understand it on a whole new level. And after that, I worked in several other areas. I was a graphic artist, a woodworking equipment salesman, and went back to school and ended up with my CPA, which led me to where I am today at Garmin AT. Will this be my last occupation? I have no idea. Kind of hope it is, but you never know. Life is about learning, and there's always more to learn, so never forget that. So why is this pertinent to your success? This is why. Over the course of the years, I learned many lessons, most by fire or the proverbial school of hard knocks. No one explained this to me, and I found out the hard way. Do I still attend the school of hard knocks? Occasionally, I admit. But usually it's only when I forget the key to success, and that's truly to understand people and how to treat them. I had a patient once tell me how much she loved a nurse that I really had no respect for. This nurse didn't have the technical aptitude that you would expect. She was always asking, what does this doctor's order mean? Why am I doing this treatment, etc., etc. But this patient was on her deathbed, and when she spoke this nurse's name, her face lit up, and she said, she is truly the best nurse I've ever had. And that hit me really hard, because here I had focused on clean and dry dressings, made sure she'd received all the medications when she needed them, made sure her sheets were clean and dry, and yet this patient was telling me this nurse was truly the best nurse she had ever had. This nurse spent time listening and visiting with her. And this made very little sense to me because I was always too busy to do that. While driving truck, I met hundreds of people. There are many tales to tell, and I promised Dean Ringgold I would not share those today. So, however, I did see this pattern continue. The brokers I understood were the brokers I got the best rates from and the best routes from. This was a time of deregulation, and many of you probably don't know what that meant, but it was a very difficult time for the trucking industry. But as I took time to get to know those that I was working with, my truck constantly ran, and I had the best rates and the best runs. I knew who was good at their word, who wasn't, who meant business, who didn't, and the more time I spent with them, the more trust and respect developed. As an auditor for a big six firm, as they were called a few years ago, the partner in charge of the firm told me one day, "We won't ever be sued by the client we have a good relationship with. It's the one we quit communicating with that will sue us. When you quit talking to your client, you basically quit doing business with them. I've never forgotten those words. I learned them through baptism by fire, and I've experienced it. It's not until you can work through people and with people that you can make progress. The basic truth remains ever present with me every day, and every time a problem arises at work, I revisit this principle. Your greatest challenges are not going to be technical in nature. They're not going to be based on that analysis that you've perfected. Your greatest challenges will be related to people. The sooner you understand this, accept it, embrace it, and manage it, the more satisfied with your work and your company you'll be, and also the more successful you will be. In everyday dealings with people in the business environment, face-to-face communication, verbal contact is crucial. And it doesn't matter what industry that you're in. If you don't have the soft skills to manage the obstacles in the form of people, then you're never going to be able to get her done, and you'll never be able to figure out why. People's needs remain very basic, and human touch is critical. In this day and age of the current technologies of Twittering, Facebook, email, and texting, that's all well and good, but quite frankly, you'll never get the same results that you will with a face-to-face conversation. Are there any downsides to taking the time to talk to others? Quite honestly, I haven't found any in all these years of work. It's rare that I get surprised at work anymore because the channel of communication is open, and it's open both ways. I share with our associates and they share with me. Remember, you're doing business with people, and you may be the best analyst, the best business dealer, the best engineer, venture capitalist, or even the best professor. But programs come and go. Best sellers with the best techniques will always be on the shelf, and there's always going to be another one to follow. But you're doing business with people, and the essentials will never ever change. Talk to them, share with them, let them know what you expect, and be honest with them above all. People know when you're telling them the truth. Look them in the eye, share your heart, build trust, build rapport, and enjoy them for their uniqueness and who they are. They will not disappoint you, and if they do, don't give up. Because if you don't give up, they won't either, and next time around, you may be surprised that your faith in them means that they do much more than you could have ever asked of them. And it's through them that you will be successful. Thank you for your time. I wish you well, and Garmin wishes you well.